And don't worry, Veronica, if you can't do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, good, guys. So as you're coming in, just put on the chat if you guys were able to determine what type of opening and closing you're now thinking of, whether it's a question opening or a talking or a sound, or you might say, I haven't quite decided yet. Just give me a little feedback as to what you guys determined in your groups. And I'm going to go ahead and close up the rooms. Okay, guys, so as you're coming back in, if you can include in the chat the type of opening and closing you're thinking of now that you've talked about it a little bit. Is that a questioning opening, a sound, talking, all of those different ones that they talked about? Okay, good. I hope that you were able to get some good feedback from one another. So yeah, that's right. If you haven't decided, tell me that also. But remember, your real goal of your group time was to get some ideas on how to revise specifically the opening and the closing. So if you have decided on that, put that in the chat box so I can see what you're thinking about. And then the other piece is making sure that you and your partner determine the time that you'll exchange again over the week so you can get your final editing in. And so whichever time, just so long as I'm able to see that happened in your digital journals as I check those. So guys, as you're coming back in, I'm just reminding you to include in the chat if you determined what type of opening and or closing you're going to be using, or you can put in there, I'm not quite sure yet. Hopefully you got some good feedback from one another and got some different ideas on how to develop where you are in your writing. And your next step is remember that you and your partner determined a time that you'll exchange, whether it's through email or you're going to meet or whatever, make a Zoom meeting, whatever, to get your revisions exchanged and then be able to do your final editing. So questions, guys, or give me a little feedback. Can somebody say this was good in my group, or here's something that helped me, or something you're thinking about differently now with your writing? Let me hear from a couple of you.
Do you want to see the revisions inside our, like our digital writing, like the revisions that they do?
No, I want to see the revisions that you guys discussed tonight. So in your digital journal, I should see a page for your draft, a page for your revisions, and a page for your final copy. Okay. And so even though it might be a cut and paste, oh, my dog just knocked over a vase over here. It might be a cut and paste thing, but it's still, that way I can clearly see that you had 3 different stages that your writing went through. Okay. Does that make sense? Let me hear, what else did you guys talk about, or how did your partner help you, or help, you know, elaborate your writing a little bit after your discussion?
So I had wrote a poem about my life, and so my partner, she just kind of helped me to add extra words to it, and then how to set it up for a question for the children. We kind of talked about that and how they would go into expressing the neighborhood and the community that they was from. Because it was a poem about my life. And so I wrote a poem about myself and kind of where I grew up at. And so I was just giving them a perfect example on how to draft that. Okay,
good. Good. Then it sounded like she gave you some ideas on ways to kind of elaborate from what you had. That's what the plan is, and that's what the hope is for your Work and Writers Workshop. And guys, you have to think about your own students being elementary students. You know, you can't just say, give each other ideas on how to revise. Now go to your groups. You know, they really have to have some kind, even you all, I gave you discussion questions, you know, so you really have to clarify what that word means when you're asking for that in this stage of the Writers Workshop. The students really have to know what they're supposed to talk about when they're in their small groups and have some kind of guide to help them. And as they go further along in the year, you can take that guide away and just say, think about those discussion questions that we always use. But initially, you need that help. They need that scaffold. Anyone else? Any other feedback from the work that you did in your small groups and how you helped each other, or questions about how that might look in your own classrooms? Okay, so hopefully you see that as valuable, guys. The real idea there is that it helps you to take the next step forward in your writing. And so you gave each other some suggestions and some ideas, and you're walking away having some things that you're going to do different, and then going back to your partner to do that revising. And next week when we come in, it should be your final draft, ready, published, you know, in that publishing stage, ready to share, that you say is in its best form. Okay. So other questions before I move on? That is listed in our module just for your homework and everything, but I just want to make sure that makes sense as to what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going back over here to share, and remember, we'll have more time for questions. I don't want to cut anybody off if you were about to ask, but I want to make sure we have time to look at everything here. So now this module is available, and so what you see here is part of, this takes you over to the Google Slides we just did, so you have your own link to get there now. Now, guys, the work that I was talking to you about, we're looking now, doing our little transition over to our social studies presentations. And the way that we're going to do this is similar to the way that you did it before, in the way that you review one another's work. But I want to get you started on it and give you a few different things that I want to make sure to cover, because like we've discussed, not everybody's is ready to review yet. So I want to talk to you about how we'll do that for some that aren't quite ready to share yet. But one of the things, I'm just going to kind of review here what I have posted. These articles from way back at the beginning when you all did that teaching social studies module. The idea was of that beginning module several weeks back was to give us the foundation that we needed in order to move forward with our presentations and being prepared to plan lessons and think about what to include there. And so I pulled these articles back again, they're both short, about powerful teaching and learning and about deep understanding. And so the first thing that I want you to do before you review the presentations is to go do a quick review of these articles. And hopefully they're not going to be, you know, it's not brand new. This was something that you reviewed as a piece of the teaching social studies sessions. And so I want you to review this, specifically looking at the different principles and characteristics that are included in that powerful teaching. What we would expect to see when we're observing social studies lessons. And they define that as powerful teaching and learning. The other piece to look at, again, hopefully a review, and you remember it once you start reviewing it, is the difference, this idea between deep and fragile knowledge and understanding. And so having an understanding of what deep understanding looks like, what would that look like within a performance, you know, activity that a student did? How would you know if there was deep understanding? So do a quick review on these two articles, okay? Because you need that in order to move forward with the review that now I'm going to talk to you about. So guys, our review of one another's work is going to look a little different than it did before, okay? And we're actually going to give what I call very substantive feedback, very constructive criticism that is going to actually, you know, that would improve this activity, improve the presentation, improve the lesson if we, you know, we're going to go back to revise and continue working with it. So our first step, guys, I have a link over to my presentation, the copy of mine that's inside of our social studies folder. And the very first step that everybody needs to do is to copy, guys.
Dr. Rodriguez,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry to bother you, but it's really blurry. I mean, do you have it? I don't know what setting you have it on.
Does that
it's
help?
blurry on our end.
Is that better when I'm presenting it? Does that look any better for you?
A little
Yes.
bit. Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay, in a second, I'll take us to the, I'll also, you can also get to the folder and then you can open mine up yourself, and you should be able to open it up from that link too. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I should have made it presentation style. So here's what you're doing, guys. At this point, what you're seeing here, this is my copy of my presentation that you all already did. Okay, and at the end, what I've done now is made 4 different slides that all say the same thing. And so you'll have 4 different students review your presentation. And so what you do first is go to my presentation and copy these last 4 slides and paste them onto the end of your presentation. Okay, so it's like a copy and paste situation, and take it over to yours. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go back and put our link to our projects, and that way that you can easily get to that. Because I want you to do that now. That's the first step, is getting those last 4 slides over to yours, and that way they're ready to be reviewed. Actually, I could just, does that make sense what we're looking at? Okay, so now when
Could you repeat that for me, please, Dr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, let me make this available. So guys,
Okay.
really do this together now. I just made it available. So you might need to refresh yours to be able to see the link that I just included. And I can also put it in our chat box. That might make it easier too. Because what you're going to do, let me get over to the chat box so I can also put your this link over there too. Okay, here we go. Okay, so clicking on the link that I just sent through the chat and also that's posted in our module, it's going to take you over to your social studies, our folder, right? And so you all see your presentations there. So what you need to do now is find mine. There it is, Social Studies Project 2, Dr. Rodriguez. And then instead of copying all the slides over, you're just copying over the last 4. Yes, good job, guys. I see you there. So you're just scrolling to the bottom, choose those last 4 ones. And it just, if you push Shift, you can select all 4. And then you do a copy and take it over to your own presentation.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so the idea is that we're each adding 4 slides to our presentations right now. And that will be as reviewers where we go to one another's to fill in and complete the review.
Okay. Thank you.
So now, guys, I'm wanting you to go ahead and do that. Copy them over. So I see many of you are doing that. Tell me if you have a problem or if there's a question on how to do it. That way you have yours ready for review.
You said, go to the, I'm on the slide, and you said press Shift.
If you press Shift, you can select student 1, and then it also lets you select 2, 3, and 4 all together. And so it makes it highlights all 4, and then you do a right click, or actually from that you go to File, make a copy of selected slides. Okay, and then you're taking that over to your own presentation.
Okay, so it just got the 11 and 12 highlighted. It didn't highlight all of them at one time.
Okay.
So is it Shift and something else I have to press?
It's just Shift and just hold. Go ahead.
I usually just hold Control and click all of them.
Okay, Control. I see it's different for different people's computers, I think.
Just don't let go of Control.
Never let go of Control.
Yeah.
And so the other option is, guys, is just to flat out
Okay.
copy the slide and take it into your presentation and then copy it 4 times.
That Control actually worked.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Xavier. Thank you, Professor.
Sure. Thank you, guys. Just help each other. That's right. You can help each other sometimes better than I can.
I'm sorry, this is under tonight's module.
It is. It's under tonight's module, but I just added this link. So if you haven't refreshed it, you might not see it there. But I also sent it in the chat box a minute ago. It's under.
Sorry, I ran to the bathroom, so I'm not quite sure how we're sharing this.
Okay. No
Okay,
problem.
I see it. Sorry, I see it. Sorry.
So I know it's confusing, and that's why I want to do it together. And I'm recording it for anybody that's not here, just to make sure that this makes sense. I know it was either that or I go through and put them on each of yours, and I just didn't want to have to do that. And so at this point, if I look over to our folders, this is our folder where all of them are. I should be able to open it up and see that you've added the last 4. Is that correct? Or does anybody have questions about how to do it? I'm just going through, I'm seeing, I think I picked on Angelique's here, see if she got hers over yet. Not yet? Okay. So I should see them there.
No, it's like, so you press. I'm sorry, does anyone know how you can just do all 4 at the same time?
So look at that. Is that Angelique?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just did one of yours. I just copied and pasted over a slide from mine to yours.
Okay.
There's student 1, and now you could just do another paste.
Okay, just duplicate it.
Duplicate it and change the number 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
I mean, there's a few different ways, but one of them is just to copy this one slide and go put it at the end of yours if you're having a problem getting all 4 of them. Anybody else need help? I can pull it over to yours if anybody.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need help.
Okay, who is it?
Cheney, sorry.
Okay, so I'll get one of the slides over there, the student 1, copy it, and then I'll go over to, that's what happens, I copy it off the markers. I'll go back to our folder and find yours. Cheney, do you know where yours is?
It's not in this folder. It's still in my own folder. So did I need to do it in this folder?
You will need to, yes, because that's how we'll be able to access one another's to review.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there any way to share what I've already made into this folder?
Is it a Google one?
Yeah, it's a Google slide.
Yeah, you should be able to. It's a matter of just like from your Google Drive, like say that, like this is my drive. So you would go to your drive.
Okay.
Hey, I wanted to share with you this writer's workshop that I just did tonight. All I have to do is move it over to the right drive. When I open it, look, change my drive right up there at that little cloud.
Okay, let me see if I can figure that out.
Okay. And then you put it over to our class drive.
Okay. Let's see.
Guys, for those of you that have done that, and I mean, I'm going to stick around as long as needed, but I'm going to also go on because some of you might say, I'm good, I've got all 4. Then look at the directions here. So the idea is that you're choosing 4 of your classmates' presentations. And this is a full review, including engaging in the activity link that is provided there. Okay, so you're going through the whole thing and doing the activity, including answering questions, doing the quiz, whatever's posted for 4 different students. And so after you do that, you'll go in and fill in the reviewer slide that is at the end. Let's say that you finish going all the way through, say, Angelique's, and you get to student 1 and it's already filled in. So then you would be student 2 reviewer. So then you go to the second slide and fill in student 2. If you get to one that has all 4 filled in, then go to another one. The idea, the hope is that all of us will get 4 reviews, 4 different student reviews. Okay, and what you're including in the review are all those questions that you see there. I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth, but that way you're basically typing onto the slide, and it might make it become 2 slides. That's okay. It'll just switch the other one down to 1 more slide. So first, it's just doing that review and kind of rating it, and then giving some actual feedback. And when I'm asking if you see opportunities for deep learning, powerful teaching, that refers to those articles. And so you should see the characteristics that are included in each of those and say, what are they that you're noticing that fall under that?
So each person does 4 reviews.
Exactly. Each person
Okay.
does 4 different reviews, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so then, like say it's Angelique, who then will go to hers and see, okay, I've had 4 different students in the class review mine. And so the last 4 slides are all filled out. And your last step after, and so guys, I'm sorry, I'm asking you to do that review by Friday. And so over the next few days, go through 4 different ones, maybe 1 a day. And by Friday, you'll be done. Because on Friday and before we're back together in class, it's just to kind of reflect. Let me see what people said and what I think about that, the review that I got. So you have a little template here to review and reflect.
Are our revisions to our group members papers a grade or no?
The only grade you'll get is that you actually did 4 of them. Okay, is it?
Well, I meant the writer's workshop revisions.
No, but I do want to see that it was done. The way that I'll see that the grade that you'll get is that I see your revision in your digital journal. So that's included there.
Oh, so, okay. So you won't see our revisions on other people's papers?
No, I won't. I'll just expect that they're
Oh, okay.
implementing them into their revision.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, at other times you can do checklists that you turn in for one another, kind of like what we did back for one of the standards. You know, there's different ways to check on your peer editing kind of work. But for tonight, I just wanted you to have the discussion to help you move forward with that. Okay, so guys, we're looking at your reflection. This is what you'll fill in after you've looked at your review. So first, tell me whose 4 did you review to make sure that you did get 4 different ones done. And then you're basically just summarizing. Now I've gone back to my presentation and looked at what my peers said about my presentation. I want you to review, summarize what they said, and then do a little reflection. After I look at my peers' comments and think a little deeper, what would I do different in each of those areas? Okay, so a true reflection there that is very much connected to what your student, the peer said to you in your review. And
Professor, sorry.
yes.
Can you tell me if you see mine in the folder now?
Okay, sure. Okay, so who is it?
Cheney.
Okay. Oh, let me see. I have to go back to our folder first, which is over here. Okay, guys, so as you're looking there, do you have questions or what do you want to ask about when it comes to reviewing? I'm sorry, I kind of totally lost our folder here. Jump in, guys.
Yes, I wanted to know about we do a reflection on the lesson plan. Is that another reflection that we ought to do for in the review?
Yes, so first you review your 4 peoples, and then you basically do a summary of the review that you've got on your own. And so it's a review of the review. Yes, that's what it is. Okay, so that's that last piece, is that you do a self-review after you see what what others in the class said on their reviews of yours.
Okay, is that in that on that file that you just gave us? Because I didn't close it out.
Yes, it sure is. So today, if you go to the module for today's work, April 26th in class, that's where everything is listed. So it starts with what we talked about in Writer's Workshop, and then here's all the same directions we just talked through with our social studies projects. And so it's very much follow step by step. First, copy and paste the 4 slides at the end. I think most of you have done that. And Cheney, I did see yours there. And then second is the review of 4 different ones. And so guys, here's where those of you that are not finished, I'm asking you on the title slide, say not ready for review yet. Make it nice and big. And then get it done ASAP so you can erase that and get 4 reviews on there. Okay? If you get to Friday and you don't have 4 reviews, it's a matter of, let's be in touch because we're going to reach out. We want to get each other's reviews. So make sure you're finishing that up and have it ready to be reviewed. Otherwise, people will skip over it.
Professor Rodriguez, would I have to put mine that I'm not ready for review if there's still no link, but technically everything else is there?
Well, can you put the link in there? Yeah, I mean, don't, like maybe after class, maybe, you know, will you be able to get the link in there pretty quickly?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah, I think, don't put it in there yet. And maybe before anybody gets to yours, you'd have it in there.
Okay, well, this is
By
Angelique's.
the end of
speaking, so
tonight,
my
if
hand.
by the end of tonight, you don't have yours ready, then make a note at the cover because some might be working on it tonight. And obviously,
Okay,
know if it's not ready, if they get to the end of it, but you want them not to have to move forward past the title if it's not ready for review yet.
okay.
Okay, so that helps some of you that said you still are not quite done or you're almost done, but not quite. You know, it won't be reviewed yet. It just makes it a little less time to get it reviewed. And so you want to finish up as soon as possible so that you have that feedback. Okay, so like I said, this is available. You really think about it like step by step. And all along, what we've talked about is our next class, actually is our last class, where we will be sharing your writing piece. It's ready to publish, so you're finishing up that editing. And then we're discussing our choice words text that I've asked you to have read for next week. I remind you that that's also available in Audible. Hopefully some of you have been able to look at that. That will make for a richer discussion next time. Okay, guys, so now I'm ready for your questions. If you feel good and ready to move on, then we can wrap up. And hopefully you feel comfortable with the way that you're going to review one another's work. If not, stick around. Let's just keep on asking questions until you're comfortable and feel good about moving forward. Okay, if you're good, then we'll finish up and I'll see you next week for our last class. I can't believe it. Okay, so unmute, ask me what questions you have. Let me know. I'm here to help.
Okay, about the book, which pages are we exactly reading? Everything?
Do you have the book? It's very short. It's like 8 chapters. And so, yes, that's what the idea is, to have it all read, and we're going to discuss the chapters. And I think as an Audible, it's maybe 2 hours long or something like that. It's not long. And so even over the next few days, I think there's 8 chapters, reading a chapter a day, 1 day, 2 chapters. But really, I promise, once you get reading it, it goes fast. There's a lot of scenarios in there. It's a good, quick read. And it makes it more interesting if we can talk about it with you prepared. Yeah, Kimberly, that's the one. You have it right there. It's a thin, quick read. Okay, anybody else? What else, guys?
It's on Canvas, right, in the syllabus?
Yes, it's been in the syllabus since the beginning, but I just told you the first one we would be looking at resource, but then choice words would come later on. But yes, it's in our syllabus. It's called Choice Words by Dr. Peter Johnston. It's very easy to Google and find it and find the Audible.
To be clear, what's coming up in the next week is the review is due on Friday, and then our final draft of the poem or our writing thing is due next week, right? Next class?
Yes.
Right. And that's the only 2 things besides the book, the reading, that we are doing for this class, correct?
That's it, guys, except a few of you are still finishing up on some observation assignments, so post those if you haven't yet. But everything,
Okay.
the last couple of things that are due.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me know if you have other questions.
Okay.
On the social studies, the project that we're doing, I still need to know how to work the, what was I selecting, that peers thing? The little pair?
Did you want to use Pear Deck, or you had talked about Seesaw at the beginning? I don't know which resource you were trying to use.
Well, I actually got 2 of them open. I have the pears and I have the Seesaw.
Okay.
And the seesaw, something about a camera, pencil, a video. Well, can I share my computer?
Okay, let me see, Rosa, if others have some questions I can answer, and then I can just work with you on your presentation, okay? Okay, let me see, guys, anything else that I can answer quickly, and then I can just spend time with those of you that want specific help on your presentations.
I do have a question. Well, I have like a statement to make. I have everything like, so I have my own notebook on here. Is it okay if I like, I guess, screenshot this and add it to my observation log? Because I take notes, but I was trying to share this link with you, but I think you have to have this application.
So it's fine if you do that. At the end of the observation log, I have a specific reflection for you. And so I think what you're showing will work, and then you do the reflection part.
Okay, cool. I could definitely do the reflection part because I usually try to write like what we do every day, and then I try to write like, you know, my reflection
That's
for
right,
the
what
day.
we were asking. Yeah, that'll be work fine, even if it's a, you know, a picture of that or whatever, just so I'm able to see them.
And I also did my the writer's workshop. I actually put it on here too because I just like the fact that I could write. I know it's kind of weird, but I still like to write, the writing camp. So I also did the writing camp on here.
What app is it, Marty?
It's called, oh, let me get out of it. It's called, whoop, you see, like I have all my folders in here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised that I don't have, I mean, I have a lot of apps on my computer, so it's surprising that.
So it's, let's see, it's called Good Notes. I don't know if you can see it. It's the one with the little pencil.
Okay, so are you able to like download it as a PDF or something like that to where you could put it into the digital folder over there so I'm able to see it in there?
I think that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to download it because I do have that Acrobat or whatever it's called, Adobe and stuff. So I could probably do it as a PDF. I just like the fact that I can use like my Apple Pencil, and I had this screen on my iPad, which is kind of like matted, and I could just glide and write, and I just like it.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Whatever resource works best, but it seems like that should be able to copy it. You would think it'd be compatible with Google in some way. So just check if it's possible to get that over there.
Yes, because I was like, I wrote way more on here for my writing camp than I would have inside of the slides.
That's good. I mean, you find a resource that you like. It's just a matter of, you know, trying to get it shared over so I can see it too. But that's a great way for you to do it.
Okay, so I'm definitely going to do that and get everything just shared over to you. So it won't be so empty.
Okay, good. Thanks, Marie.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
I just had a question. Are one of the social studies lessons going to be, because it's going to be a key assignment that we upload? Do we have a key assignment?
I ended up not doing the key assignment, and I told her, yeah, I was going to choose one of those, but then I mean, it's like my week got cut off there, not having.
Okay.
Now I'm saying we're not doing that.
Okay, yeah, because when I go into
it shows
TK20,
there.
it shows up, and so I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to upload here.
Yeah, originally I was going to have you choose one of these presentations, but now I'm going to tell her we're not doing them, and I'll just keep them here in my own folder.
Oh, okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Mary.
Bye.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Adelaida. I was able to finish up my lesson plan, virtual lesson plan that we were doing, which is great. However, I was going to ask you, do you mind just shooting us a reminder of what to do for next week?
Okay. It's in
okay, it's in the module. Okay.
Yeah, at the very bottom, I put it in red. Due next week.
Okay.
And
awesome. Thank you so much.
Today, April 26th in class page, it's going to summarize all of that like a checklist.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Shoot me a text if you don't find it or if you have questions after you look at it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Dr. Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you do a quiz? How do you create a Quizlet?
The Quizlet, so it's really, let me see, let me share, and it's been a little while since I created one, but I think I can still do it. It's really, I always end up trying these things out and playing with them until I figure it out. So let's just go over there and see.
Can I use Quizlet instead of Seesaw and stuff?
Well,
because
that's what I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you that, Rosa, here in just a second. I have a few ideas for you. So let me just, yeah, I mean, you can use anything. You could use a PowerPoint with a quiz at the end. Okay, let me see if I want to create one, create a new study set. Try.
Because with Quizlet, I accidentally ended up doing like something for for science. I mean, science, yeah, where I had a small little quiz of 5 questions. I didn't have to pay anything. It was like free.
Yeah, you can do a trial. I'm not going to go through and do all of this signing up right now.
Okay, okay,
Mary, that you can do a 30-day trial.
okay,
Just make sure and do, you know, delete it before 30 days because
okay,
from experience, they just charge you. But you see that you're just selecting multiple choice, whatever kind of questions you want, you select that.
okay,
You put in the questions and the answers.
okay, okay,
Sometimes, depending on your topic, you can even find a Quizlet that's already made. Like if it's about major events in Texas or something, and you search for it, and then you just edit the Quizlet that's already made, where you arrange the questions and can add to them.
okay, okay.
Okay.
I'll try. All righty.
Try it and let me know if you want to meet again and we can get more specific. But if you're not able, and then also Kahoot is very user friendly for making a quiz too. So that's another option.
Okay. Okay. All right. Kahoot. Okay. I'll try Kahoot. I think I've
Okay.
used
Okay.
that. All right. Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez.
Okay. Just let me know if you have questions after you work with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a
Okay,
good
Rosa,
evening.
then let's look. Now we can just look at yours specifically, but what I was going to tell you is that it doesn't have to be a seesaw. It doesn't have to be a pear deck. It can be anything that is interactive. And if you think about, I'm just trying to stop sharing my screen here just so we can, if you think about like all the different ways over the last year that you've had lessons given to you through our classes and through your other classes, sometimes it's a PowerPoint where you talk on the slide a little bit, and then you say, now complete this Kahoot. Or maybe it's, you know, a video at the beginning of a PowerPoint, then you ask some questions, and maybe at the end you're like, download this multiple choice quiz and turn it in when you're done.
Oh, so I can do like a slide? I can do a slideshow thing. I can do
You
that.
can do anything.
Like a lesson slide?
That's the idea, is that, you know, probably you've observed a lot of different interactive lessons, and some might be paired you saw, others might just be, look at this PowerPoint and at the end answer the questions that I have there. You know.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
Or
super
you might
easier
say,
than.
yeah, at the end, you know, if your name is between A and C, answer these questions, D and G, answer these, and put them all together on a slide or something like that.
Oh, okay.
You just think, I mean, really, it's a practice of, you know, at some point we have to share virtual lessons, probably, you know, what the way times are and how it's changing. And so you want to have some kind of experience with that. So it might be, you know, the voice threads that I've done sometimes, all that is a PowerPoint, but then they can add their comments through a voice by recording their message. Look at VoiceThread. That's an easy one too. It's just different resources.
Wow, okay.
To share. Okay.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, so yeah.
And yeah, I can make videos and I can link it on there, I think. Where,
well, like, yeah, you insert a video and the very first slide might be watch this video and now notice how they're doing this and that and now answer these questions, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, so that gives you some
great
different
idea.
ideas. Okay, well, then, you know, the thing, it's just that you're going to reflect afterwards, like you see what people are going to give you comments on. So whatever format you use, just make sure you're including new information that they say, yes, I learned from that.
Oh, okay. That sounds great. Oh, I like that. Okay, I like that idea.
Okay, good. And it's a matter of how can we be creative within what our skills are and where our strengths are. And maybe that's like pulling videos and doing a little slideshow and then pulling in questions for them.
Okay, that sounds great.
And your last link of your slide could go to a Kahoot or a quiz, or it could just be multiple choice questions, whatever you want it to be. It's just a matter of, you see how we're reviewing them. So see that you include those components that we can say, yeah, we learned from that.
Okay. Okay. I can do Quizlet. I can put a link there. And since I have the account for maybe 30 days, I don't know
Yeah, 30
how I
days
got
is
it.
good.
But, maybe, I don't know how I got it, but I'll go ahead and add something like that.
Yeah, that's good. And a lot of them, I should have told Mary, have student accounts too, that sometimes you could get into for free, but usually you can get a trial and at least try it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they gave it to me for free. So I'm like, okay. So I
Take
got
it.
excited about that.
That's right. So now it's just maybe put at the beginning on your title slide, don't review yet. And then once it's ready, take that off so it's ready to review.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. That
Then
sounds good.
You good then?
I'm good.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Good, I'm glad. Okay, well, let me know